What? Artie's making a video that isn't 1 minute long? About Russia suffering, him being bad, or popping off for no random reason? An actual video with more than just a shadow play being posted? Blasphemy. Hello to the 0 people that care about my channel. I thought I'd revisit the Shturm S. But before that, let's take a look at its history and its journey. Because let me tell you, the Soviet family sedan has been through quite a lot, and it's in a peculiar spot now more than ever. The Shturm S was introduced quite a long time ago in 1.89 Imperial Navy at 9.3, with a whopping 13,518 silver line repair cost. Imagine paying the same price for a MiG-21 Biz as you do for a slab of cardboard with pokey sticks. And that's exactly what it was. When it was first introduced, nobody had ever really heard of it. It was pretty expensive, only had 2 crew, and could be smacked around by even the smallest firearm in the game, a 7.62. It didn't really have anything going for it besides a decent enough chance to actually go through the enemy's armor, but the missile's overall effectiveness after going through the armor is, well...
It's like I just slapped him in the face with a fucking napkin from a little kid's birthday party!
I clearly recall one incident in which I was behind an Abrams while he was AFK, and shot him about 5 times in the rear, hardly damaging anything each time. This is with the nicer tandem missiles that it carries. It also has access to a pretty fancy missile, which is the Proximity Fuse HE missile, or just ATGM HE-PF. What a mouthful of shit that is. Because that's also what it was. You could basically bitch slap an Alouette, which is the same thing as an RC heli, but with a leprechaun controlling it, and you do nothing at all. Every missile it carried was like that. Even just the standard high explosive missiles were useless, as it couldn't even go through the rear of a Type 89. There was even a guy mid-match on the enemy team who was curious to the Shturm and let me shoot him twice in the rear with that very HE missile, which on paper should have ripped him in half faster than 5 African Americans to a high school adult actor, but instead only set him on fire after the second missile. And that's not all. Because of course it isn't. I wish it was. Then I would just say, oh, it's a bad vehicle, and move on. Its biggest glaring problem was the bugs, the glitches, the big nasties. The launcher would age you by at least a year in stress of waiting for it to deploy. It was far slower than it ever should be, and sometimes the missile just wouldn't fire. Other times the missile would pretend to fire, drop a tube, and start reloading, only to glitch back, ready to go again, only making you more confused. It could do this several times in a row. There are a few videos on my channel showcasing this, but it's up to you if you want to watch them. They can be pretty painful. So where did I find out that the Shturm could shoot down aircraft? Or when did it get better at it? Well, funny story. I took a Heinkel 51C, a biplane, into 8.7 and got my shit pushed in by one of these Soviet lowriders. I decided to go look at it again, and I was thoroughly impressed by the damage it caused, and not by a direct hit either. So what's the deal? Is it really any better against tanks? To be honest, I had next to no idea. I've been too busy absolutely crushing aircraft with it. The missiles are guided mini nukes now, they fly so much better, the launcher deploys in a quarter of the time. The bugs have completely vanished due to updates, and not only that, but it's faster now too. The vehicle itself, that is. Its thermals have also started out as first generation, but are now full resolution. Honestly, these are just with the ATG... You know what, not even gonna say that again. The Prox missiles. I also haven't touched the actual tandem warhead since the change, but I also haven't needed to. The Prox missiles alone is enough to smack almost any tank, including HO production from the front. The overpressure update really helped them out too. Recently, some people had started leaking the secret of the Shturm S's unique anti-air capabilities. It now sits at a comfortable 8.3 battle rating, with only a few thousand silver line repair cost. I've attempted to keep it a secret as long as I can, but alas, this video reached my audience of about 4 people who won't care anyways, or have already heard my cultic ravings about how cracked this little doombox is. The truth is, game was rigged. The truth is, it got nerfed recently. Pretty hard, too. All of the SAMs did, in fact. So, where does it stand now? Well, it's still one of the best anti-air of its battle rating, or even around that battle rating purely due to the range. Now, that's not to say it's unstoppable, just really, really good at catching people off guard. The nerf was primarily to its missiles' long-range performance. They used to be just like groan tubes, or the funny tubes that make sound when you turn them over. You could basically throw them sideways at people, and no matter what they did, you could hit them as long as they didn't go above your elevation. Now that was changed and they perform much like they would IRL, mostly beneficial against helicopters, but they are still effective against aircraft. However, any serious maneuvering at range and the missile will lock up and miss. Well, to be honest, I've always wanted to love the Shturm, but couldn't originally due to its glaring issues. Now that it's been fixed, a revisit was definitely warranted. The Shturm S has now become one of my favorite ground vehicles ever made. Ever. I'm gonna be honest, I'm putting way too much effort into this video for how little attention it's gonna get, but I'm enjoying doing it, so I'm really not that bothered by it. Well, anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.